Hey guys, I'm Twan and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a pretty useful video. I want to show you the best attacking strategy for Conquest so you can max out your points and your kills and be the most useful to your team. The map that's featured in this is the new Achibaba map from the Turning Tides DLC, but this will work on any battlefield map because the same general rules will always apply. And this strategy is not only learning how to flank, but it's also learning when to flank and which side to flank to, because you can usually tell by the way you hold your objectives. So with all that said, let's get into the first example. So in this first example, the initial thing you're going to want to notice is the position of all your teammates. If you see on the right side of the screen there, the mass of my team is attacking at B and they're going head on. So that means that most of the enemy's defense is going to be facing that direction. So you don't want to head that way. I'm going to head off to the left. So the reason I chose to head left is because you'll see that we hold C and A. And so if the enemy has just taken B, they're most likely to head to the nearest objectives. And since our whole team is facing D, the easiest way to go would be towards C and A. So if I head to the left, I can cut off their escape route and actually get some easy kills and get into B very easily. And so now, as you can see, because I chose to come around the side, got 3 easy kills, when I get onto the point, there's absolutely no one, making for a really easy cap and free points essentially. In this next example, I'd like to show you how to attack an objective in which the enemy is actually using the defensive positions. So as you can see, when I walk in, immediately I see an enemy on the machine gun. And so there's also a guy up to the left, and behind them, which I haven't actually seen yet, there are a few more enemies. And so I've used these arrows, their sizes according to the threat level. So obviously the machine gun is the most important threat at this time. So instead of engaging head on, which would certainly be a losing battle, I like to distract them a little bit with a couple shots up front, and then I immediately go off to the right. And so this works out in my favor because 1, you can kill enemies as they run in to reinforce the defensive positions, and 2, because they're so focused on the front, you can easily come in from behind and get some easy kills and another easy cap. So in this next example, I'd like to show you how to predict where an enemy attack will come from, and then using that knowledge, you can blunt their attack and turn it into one of your own. So as you can see here, I'm coming from one of our own objectives, and directly in front of me there is the objective D and the objective B. And so with these two in front of me, the general trend is the enemy attack should come from the middle. And so I use this to predict where enemies should be. By doing this, I take out enemies coming from D and also enemies that start heading over towards C.
We are winning.
I included the end of this clip because this shows a good example of getting too greedy with a good attack. And so I should not have just ran into the middle here, because as you can see, I've got 2 enemies that show up right away, when in reality I should have kept flanking along the top edge there, because that would have let me come from behind them from where I already know that they're attacking. Now let's take a look at my final example of attack strategy. As you can see, my team has just taken D and we're getting pushed pretty heavily from C, and so we'd all decide to go left. I lead my team, but several people follow me. And so once again, because we do this, it allows us to blunt their attack and launch one of our own. In the last part of this attack, I think it's important that you guys see the mini-map real quick for a little bit of context before we start talking about it. So as my squad mates and I start storming C, immediately a grenade lands in front of me. So that's the biggest, most pressing issue. Also, if you look at the mini-map, there are enemies to my left and one behind me. And so this is not a favorable fighting situation. So the way I avoid this is I dip out to the side and then move to behind the enemies so I can attack from a more favorable angle. That's all I've got for you guys today. I hope you got some useful information out of this. If you use these tips, I can guarantee that you'll have more successful attacks, more points, more kills, and just be an all-around more successful battlefield player. So I'm Twan, thanks for watching my video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.